opportunity to not have a criminal conviction on your record, right?
Right.
How old are you?
26, ma'am.
And while you're on probation for an assaultive crime with the opportunity to not have a conviction on your history, an assaultive conviction, you're drinking, and like your numbers are, and you got weed in your system too.
Well, I got my marijuana card.
I don't care. Okay, so we're gonna have a hearing on that. If you can smoke marijuana and you've got a card, did your bona fide doctor give you that card? A doctor you go see regularly, or did you get it from Dr. Cron on Southfield Road?
No, I didn't. From a real doctor.
Okay, then I'll be waiting for the note from that real doctor. Until then, until that note is produced and that documentation is produced, the probation department, you're not smoking marijuana. When you get your note from not Dr. Cron to the court, we'll reconsider. So you're drinking while you're on probation for something where you're getting every benefit the criminal justice system has to offer. How often is he testing?
He's testing on Navy, Judge.
He's going up to cream. So we're going to increase your color to make sure that you're not drinking. You ever been to Wayne County Jail?
No, I don't want to go.
You don't? I want you to know that on this allegation, on this violation, I could have given you 5 days, but I'm not. I'm going to follow the recommendation along with that testing. But if you test positive at this court again, or you have a violation, Mr. James, quite frankly, I want to be clear. I didn't agree with your plea agreement. I don't think you should have gotten that plea agreement. Period. But you did. But if you're not going to comply with the orders of this court, I will have no problem. I will lose no sleep putting you in jail. And next time you will serve 10 days in the Wayne County Jail. You're going to follow this court's orders. It's not too much. You're going to get that do you have a doctor's note for his medical marijuana? What's your medical? You don't have to tell me that. Do you have the note?
I do not have a note. I have the card itself, but I don't have any note.
All right. I want to know what doctor that came from.
I can set it for a hearing.
All right. When did he get the card?
I'd have to double check on the file. I know that I made a copy of the card.
All right. I just want to know how close to this case did he get the card?
He had it prior to.
He did? Okay. And so you're going to do 3 days community service. You're going to follow the orders of this court, sir. All right?
All right. Thank you for giving me a second chance.
Yep. We're all set.
5 minutes later.
Good morning, Your Honor. James Guzicki on behalf of Mr. Shelton. Your Honor, we have had the opportunity to go over his rights. He had a chance to read them, sign a vice of rights form, and we're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Shelton, did you go over this 2-page advice of rights form?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you sign and date it?
Yes.
Okay. How are we proceeding with respect to the allegation that
That's the allegation, Your Honor. He's going to enter a plea of guilty of missing court watch. Wish to address the court prior to sentencing, though.
All right. All right, Mr. Shelton, to the allegation that you missed court watching on 7/12/23, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Okay. I'm going to accept the plea as knowing and voluntary. Ms. Havner, did I get your appearance?
Yes, you did, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead and allocate whatever you want to say.
Yeah, he was scheduled for court watch yesterday. He missed it. He indicates that about 11:20, he contacted probation and tried to reschedule. He did make a mistake and he understands that. Indicates he's, a lot going on. His wife just had surgery last week. She's present in court. That doesn't erase the violation. I realize he's got a very poor history as far as violations. But Your Honor, the fact that he tried to correct it so soon, I'd ask the court to take that into consideration. As to the recommendation, 10 days jail, Your Honor, Mr. Shelton's ready to be finished with probation on the 24th of this month. He's been through 2 years probation. I know he's had a lot of bumps in there. All he has left is 1 day of community service. What I'm asking the court is to reconsider the 10 days in jail. Also, the closing without improvement will have a very harsh effect on him. He is on felony probation in a non-related matter with another court. And that kind of negative review is definitely going to affect his probation. So what we're asking the court is to let him finish his day of community service or add if the court wants to, and let him, make it to the 24th and complete his probation successfully, Your Honor.
I was mistaken. I'm sorry.
I know. Here's the thing, Dan. I think you know that I genuinely care about you. You've been in the program and you know that. But at some point, you've completely taken advantage of that. I have to let you know before you go any further, though, this is your, how many?
15th violation.
This is, okay. So I don't even have to let him know anything about his technical violations because we're at 50.
Yes, Judge. And this is the highest violation of anyone actively on probation currently.
Yeah, the most people, don't blame her, don't be mad. The most people in this program, in the history of the program under Judge Salamone, who's definitely, I think most people would say tougher than me. The most he's ever had was 19. You're at 15, Dan, and you haven't even been, that's not even all, that's like under me. And Dan, I have tried so hard with you. I'm talking. After you relapsed this last time, when you knew you didn't have time to finish, every single person in the entire team of this treatment court said, we can't keep him. We don't have time. And I kept thinking, we're going to put him in an IOP. I can make Dan better. Dan can still get some benefit from this. I'm going out of my way. I'm disagreeing with therapists, probation officers, attorneys, other judges, just me. Little old me is sticking up for Dan Shelton in all of these meetings saying, I think Dan needs one more chance. Even if Dan can't finish the IOP before the end of the program. Ms. Havner, how accurate is what I'm saying?
Very accurate, Judge. And if I can also say, Mr. Shelton did not contact me yesterday about missing court watching. He contacted me asking if I can cover drug tests. I was just in the courtroom at 11:30. He called me at 11:45 to see if Mr. Shelton was in the courtroom. I was going to call him later on in the day.
I mean, it doesn't, at this point, none of it even matters.
He had no idea that he was even supposed to be here.
Yeah, no, none of it even matters anymore. So Dan, I give you the break. I give you this big break when everyone else on a treatment court team, everyone says enough. We've spent enough resources on Dan, and I am like this soft, gentle soul that can't stand to just agree with everybody. I'm like, nope, Dan has value, and I still think you have value. I want to be clear on that. But Dan, I think Dan can get better. I think that we should not give up on Dan. So after the relapse, knowing full well you couldn't graduate the program, I kept you and was trying to finagle some way to close out your case and say, well, you completed even though you didn't graduate. And then I said, Dan, don't get any more violations. Finish your IOP, come to Family Fun Day, do these things, and maybe we'll throw you some cupcakes, later. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out a way against the advice of and this is going to go on for a minute so everybody's aware, because I'm not done. I still try to figure out a way, Dan, to make this work for you and to help you be successful, because while I don't think you've made up the amount of progress that everybody expects from you, I still think you've made progress. I still think you've done well, not compared to everyone else, but compared to what you were last time you were in this program, compared to when you first came in and you were nodding out. I want you to know that nothing that happens today changes the fact that I feel that you have made progress. But the problem is, Dan, after we had that conversation, and I was like, I'm going to try and figure something out against the advice of everybody else in the program. You got a violation. That all you did make it without a violation for like then a month, and you got a violation. What was that one for? Oh, for going into for the love of God, going into IOP, barbecue grilling, smoking, hanging out with Charlie. Like, you know better, and you knew how tight your leash was, and you trusted that I was going to be soft-hearted enough to like let one more slide, and I did. And then I gave you a day of court watching as a sanction for that, where all you do is come sit with me for a couple hours. I know you forgot, but that's the thing, Dan, is the consistent, nothing that anybody says is going to change what's about to happen. Nothing that anyone, that's why I don't need anyone to say anything. So all I'm trying to really do right now, Dan, is try and get you to understand that this breaks my heart. This does not make me feel happy. If he's coming, don't worry. I want you to hear me. Like, I think I don't have a choice. There's only two boxes, with improvement, without improvement.
Sorry.
I know, Dan, I hate it. I don't like it any more than you do. But you gotta do 10 days in Wayne County Jail. Probation's terminated without improvement. You're discharged from the treatment court program, and the balance is just.
I asked for it to be referred to collections. I don't feel that Dan always made a good faith effort to make.
I'm waiving the balance. Dan is not gonna be able to pay this. I'm just waiving it. There's no reason for us to try and chase down this money when he's got all kinds of other problems. I don't know what it's gonna do to his felony case. I'm waiving the money. He's not gonna be able to pay it.
Yeah. Can she bring up my medication?
Yeah, one of the court officers can talk to Charlie about that. But you gotta do this.
I love you. I'll be downtown.
That makes more than $4.50 a week or $11 an hour. All right. Ma'am, in the tank top, if you'll come on up. Yes, ma'am. You in the leopard skin, come on up, please. Come on up, ma'am. You're distracting me with all your head movements. Are you? I mean, you
I'm on ADHD, and I haven't made it back to my house from staying with my mom to make it to court.
Okay.
To take my medication yet.
It could be a medical issue, or it could be some other kind of drugs. You don't need kind of illegal substances, are you?
My medication. I haven't
Someone in the
taken my
back
meds.
shaking their head yes that you are on illegal drugs.
Huh?
Yeah. Are you on any kind of drugs today?
No,
So if I
sir.
give you a drug test, you're going to pass it? Is
Yes,
that right?
sir. I ain't done no drugs. I smoke weed, but I ain't smoked that in a couple
What's
of days.
your name, ma'am?
Stelly.
What's your last name?
Stelly.
Stelly?
Yes, sir. I ain't even. I
And
just
you're
got
on
up.
bond? Is that right?
Yes, sir. And we were supposed to resolve it because it was actually false accusation.
The
and
state's
all
offers
that.
30 days in jail, Miss Stelly.
Yeah, I was
Is that right,
already
Miss
in
Shepard?
jail.
For how long?
3 weeks,
Got 21 days of jail credit.
21
much?
days.
21 days. She bonded out to go to the mental hospital. She's been in the
Exactly
mental
what I did.
hospital,
Okay.
I think until just.
I don't think I can drug test her against her will. I can't force you to take a drug test. You're not on bond that allows
Yeah.
drug tests, and you're not on conditional release.
Like I said,
Sheriff,
like he said, I went to go get my mental meds.
let me finish just a
Okay.
second, okay? The state's offer is 30 days in jail.
Yes, sir.
If she takes and passes a drug test, does the state have a problem with time served?
No objection.
So you can take and pass a drug test if you wish voluntarily, and if you pass it, the offer is going to be time served. If you
Okay.
fail it,
I mean, I know it's gonna pop dirty for marijuana.
Is that all?
That should be all.
I know it should be,
It
but I've
should be
got my
because that's
doubts.
all I smoke. Because I'm trying to get my medical
If it's
card.
positive for marijuana, that's not going to affect it being a time served offer. If you
Okay.
have meth in your system
Oh, no.
or any other substance like Molly,
Oh,
then
no.
that is going to affect the offer.
As far as I know, I shouldn't.
You keep saying as far as I know. If you ask me,
I put it like
if you
this because
listen, stop.
Go ahead.
If you ask me, are you going to test positive for meth? I'm going to say,
No.
heck no. It's not. It should be. I'm going to tell you no. Why? Because I hadn't taken any meth. So let me ask you again.
Well, no.
Let me ask you again. Are you going to test positive for anything other than marijuana?
No.
Okay. Do you want to voluntarily take a drug test? It's up to you.
I mean, I will.
Okay. If you fail it, I'm not going to accept the 30-day offer. It's going to be more than that. If you pass it, you're going to be time served. You're going to be out of here.
I mean, I should.
I'm not going to accept the 30-day offer. Just have a seat back in the
My only
audience.
concern is she takes all kind of medications. Some of them are ADH medications.
She got a prescription for meth, then that's fine. But I don't think that's the case. If she's not going to take a drug test, I'm going to assume there's a reason she won't take it.
I was just saying the ADH medications do
Not for meth. Amphetamines, maybe. And if you have some research that shows me that, I'd be glad to see it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I see 100 meth cases a month, and they behave in the same manner she's behaving. Now, there are other reasons, Mr. McDaniel. I'm with you.
I'm not objecting. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying that if she's on ADH medications, it will show positive.
For amphetamine. So, but she doesn't want to take one. That's okay. That's probably a safe thing to do, ma'am, is not take one, but I'm not going to take a 30-day offer with her behavior. So, ma'am, I need you to behave. And if you can't behave, we'll let you wait outside until your case is called. But it's very distracting to see you doing all this stuff while I'm trying to have court. Okay. Okay. So, anybody else on this side of the court that makes more than $400 a week or $450 a week or
Your Honor, I don't think there's any agreement between the parties, including on where the children should be living. The state is asking for the appointment of an ad litem for the children to figure out what situation is. I believe it's the mother's testimony that she had left the children because of an altercation and then tried to get them back, and the police told her they could not force him to give the children back because he's their dad. And I believe Mr. Hodges' testimony is that the children don't have anywhere to stay where Ms. Zielinski is living, and they need to stay with him.
All right, then. Sounds like, the kids get a lawyer, so that's going to be probably, but let's go ahead and get some testimony from the parties so I can see some time frames here. Where's everybody? Like I said, I got a child that's, like I said, is 11. Let's see. The oldest just turned 11. So this has been a relationship that's going on for a while. So let's get a little background and and a timeline on where everybody's been for the last 11 years. All right. And with whom? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and swear the parties in, and I'm going to start looking through my list to see who I'm going to appoint as the attorney ad litem in this matter. Thank you. So at this time, Ms. Zielinski, Mr. Hodge, both please raise your right hands. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
Yes, sir. All right, you're both officially on the oath, and the state may proceed. Thank you.
The state would like to call Jamarcus Hodge. Mr. Hodge, will you state your full name for the record?
My name is Jamarcus W. Hodge.
And sir, what are the names and birthdays of the children that you have with Miss Zielinski?
The names will be Braylee Hodge, and her birthday is 3/6/2012. Jaden Hodge, and his birthday is 5/8/2013. Emmanuel Hodge, his birthday is 8/19/19, and Amaya Hodge, and her birthday is 8/26/20.
And sir, you're the father of all of those children?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not requesting any DNA testing today, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Where do the children currently live?
They currently live with me.
Okay. Did you and Miss Zielinski ever live together?
Yes, ma'am. We lived together for approximately, I would say, 11 years.
And when did you stop living together?
December of 22.
Was there an incident that happened that caused you to stop living together?
No, ma'am. Well, honestly, yeah, we found out. I found out that she was talking to someone else and having intercourse with another person at her job. And once I found out, she basically just left.
And so your testimony, she left and the children stayed with you after that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has there been any visitation between the children and Miss Zelinsky since that time?
Yes, ma'am.
When did those visits occur?
Normally weekends when she's off. There's a weekday or two that she might come see him, but normally whenever she's off.
Where did those visits occur?
And clean.
Are you concerned if your address or phone number is put into an order that you might face harassment, abuse, or threats of abuse or harm to you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So are you still living in the same place that you and Miss Zelinsky used to live with at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For the children that are of school age, are they enrolled in Killeen School District?
Yes, ma'am. They go to Hay Branch Elementary.
All right. What, as far as the visitations, does Miss Zelinsky come and pick up the children, or do those visits occur at your house? What goes on with that?
Yeah, she'll come and pick them up and take them places, like wherever she decides to take them, parks, out to eat, indoor playgrounds, wherever it's been kind of difficult since my son's just been diagnosed with epilepsy. So we've been trying to figure out exactly what he can and cannot do. So it's just more or less been parks and out to eat.
Which son is that?
Jaden.
So you heard my opening statement. You do not agree with the statement I made that Miss Zelinsky's alleges that you are keeping the children from her.
No, ma'am, I do not agree with that at all.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court at this time?
No, ma'am, I guess.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'll be back in just a moment. Go ahead and call your next witness, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
State would like to call Jessica Zelinsky. Ma'am, can you state your full name for the record?
Jessica Lynn Zelinsky.
And you're the mother of the children previously named?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you agree that you and Mr. Hodge lived together for around 11 years?
It was more or less like 12 and a half because my daughter is 11. I just left in December, so it's more or less 12 years.
And what happened when you left the house?
Basically what happened, like he did say, I was talking to somebody, but that's not why I originally left. He is very controlling. He has put his hands on me before, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I ended up leaving the situation because it was getting worse as far as the verbal abuse, him putting his hands on me. I don't want to say he abused me because everybody takes abuse or looks at it differently. So, but he did put his hands on me, things like that. As far as, taking my phone keys, all that sort of thing. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I eventually left, and that's when I left in December.
Were there any police reports or any kind of court cases involved as far as that goes?
Yes, ma'am. When I originally left, I did do a police report, and I want to say like a couple of days before I left, it was, I think, 3 or 4 calls to the police that were made that day, and one being my boss, my manager at UPS. She did call the cops because he made me call into work, and she heard the altercation over the phone. basically the yelling, the screaming, crying, that sort of thing. So she did call the police because she was aware of some things that were going on between me and him.
All right, ma'am, are you still working for UPS?
I am.
All right. You had the same boss?
Yes, I'm still under the same boss.
All right, good enough. You may proceed, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know if there is currently any open criminal cases regarding any of those calls?
I'm not sure. I know I was speaking with a detective at one point, which I kind of stopped talking to the detective because Jamarcus did act as the detective. So I was unsure of who was really the detective at that point.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I think I know what you're saying, but please elaborate a little bit more. Thank you.
As far as him acting as a detective?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so originally when I made the police report, I had a different phone number than the one that I currently have. I turned that phone off, location, everything off. I made the police report on my manager at UPS, her cell phone. So the detective only had her cell phone number. And originally I had the text message stating that basically he was the detective and that I needed to call. Me not thinking, my mind is still, going through everything. It's at 8:00 at night when she got that message and sent it to me. So I had got a call from that same number and I answered it and started talking to that detective only to find out it was him.
All right, so you're alleging that Mr. Hodge impersonated a police officer.
Well, he stated that he was the detective, I think it was Ramirez, that I was speaking to.
All right. Mr. Hodge, we're not going to go too far down that path with you, sir, asking questions, because obviously that is a criminal offense in and of itself. So, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and let the state finish with questioning here. I'm definitely looking at giving the kids a lawyer going forward, but I want to finish up Mom's testimony before I start making some rulings here. Thank you. You may proceed, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Zelinsky, have you been able to see the children since December 2022?
Yes, recently I have started seeing the children. Excuse me. I know in the beginning I'm not gonna say he didn't allow it, but it was always a fight. Like there was, I came to meet him to get the children. He wanted me to go file the income tax. I had already filed the income tax, but I didn't want to go into all that with him because it was, time for my kids. So then he grabbed I had a key because I was staying with a friend at the moment, a coworker, and I had her key on her key ring. He reached into the car, into my vehicle, because it was right on the little door, on the little hole where your door is, in the inside of the car. He took it, wouldn't give it back to me. I then said, okay, we'll go to the park. Let's, we'll file it another day. It was already filed though. He didn't know that. So we went over to the park, never got to experience, hang out with my kids because it was nothing but fighting and arguing. My kids did get out of the vehicle, because they wanted me to come play. But at that point I was too afraid to, being that past altercations that we've had. And then the one that just occurred of him taking the key, he eventually threw it, things like that. So on that one, I kind of was hesitant to go see the kids because I didn't want for the kids to constantly see us arguing and fighting and back and forth. It has gotten a lot better since then. Now, if I don't answer my phone or whatever the case may be, he then tells me I can't see the kids, that sort of thing. But I can't always answer my phone if I'm at work. Yes, my kids come first, but I do still have to have some type of income coming in as well. Like I said, it has gotten a lot better within this last month and a half, as far as me.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna slow you down here a little bit. Over the last month and a half, what have you been doing?
As far as communicating, me and
visitation.
Jamarcus have been communicating a little bit better. being able to see the kids a little bit more than I have been.
What specifically you've been doing? You getting the kids all day, 2 or 3 hours? What are we talking overnight? What are we
like a couple of hours. He will not let my kids come over to my apartment. Yes, I have a 1-bedroom apartment currently, because I was staying with a friend and I wanted to have my kids, so I hurried up and tried to get into something. And so that's what I did. I live in Temple. He lives in Killeen. He won't let my kids come over to my house anytime I want to see the kids.
Ma'am, stop. You can stop. That's over with as of today's date. I'm the one that gets to make that decision going forward. So, and I'm going to come up with a visitation package. I just need to know your circumstances a little better. So I'm going to let the state proceed and now that I know where you live and everything. So, I'll let the state proceed and we'll figure out what we're going to do. You may proceed with your next question, Ms. Hubbard. Thank you.
Where you're currently living, do you have space for the children to have their own rooms or at least share boy-girl separated?
As far as where I'm living at currently, I know it's not feasible, but I can make the living room into a room, and I do have a big, like I said, I am in a 1-bedroom currently. And if need be, the room is big enough to where, I can get bunk beds, for each kid, because I do have 4 kids, and I can make the living room into a room if need be, just until I'm able to move into something with more rooms.
Does anyone else live in the apartment with you, or are you just living?
No, it's just me by myself.
All right, ma'am, when you say you got 1 bedroom, we're talking about 1 bedroom plus a living room, bathroom, and kitchen, or are we talking about an deficiency?
No, it's a living room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, little dining area.
Okay, thank you. All right, you may proceed, Ms. Hubbard.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court today that you feel like we haven't talked about?
No, I just want to be in my kids' life.
All right, ma'am, when's the last time you seen your kids?
I seen them last Friday.
For how long?
For a couple of hours.
All right then. And what's your work schedule like, ma'am?
I work Tuesday through Saturday.
What time you get off on Saturday?
I don't get off until 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, so you work the evening shift at UPS?
Yes, sir.
All right then. And do you know Dad's work schedule?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you. Any other questions of this with Mrs. Hubbard?
One more question, Your Honor. Ms. Zielinski, if you had your address or phone number included in this order, do you feel like it would cause you to face harassment, harm, or abuse from anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I pass witness, Your Honor.
And ma'am, it sounds like it, but I'm going to double check. And you do have reliable transportation that can get you to Killeen and back to Temple with your kids?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Cardi, next, you can recall Mr. Hodge at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. State would like to recall Mr. Hodge.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
what is your work schedule on the weekends like right now?
I don't work on the weekends.
Okay. I pass witness, Your Honor.
All right, folks, I've got a lot of stuff going on here, and it's not like something I hadn't heard a few hundred times since being a judge and a lawyer. So it's nothing too much out of the ordinary. But anyway, I've got to come up with something that's fair to both parties, and I got to come up with something that's that will work for the kids. So here's what I'm looking at doing at this point. I'm going to go ahead and set this up. I'm going to name you both temporary joint management conservators. I'm going to let the kids stay with Dad for now. Main residence will be with Dad, but I'm not giving anybody the right to decide domicile at this point. I'm keeping that with myself, the judge. So I'll decide domicile, and I'm placing the kids with Dad for that domicile. I'm looking at giving the mom weekend visits with the children every weekend, except the Father's Day weekend coming up in 2 weeks. And I'm looking at you, ma'am, having you pick. We're in summer, so we get to do this. So I'm looking at having you pick the kids up on Sunday mornings and returning the kids to Dad on Monday evening. So I want you to pick the kids up at 9 a.m. on Sunday and return to Dad at 6 PM on the following Monday. I'm sorry, you go, what time you go to work?
Are you referring to, for
Yeah,
me?
you say you're off on Sundays and Mondays, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you don't go back to work until late in the evenings on Mondays?
On Tuesday, yes.
On
Because I'm
Tuesday,
off
okay.
on Monday.
So I'll go ahead and order that you have the kids from, like I say, 9 a.m. on Sunday to 6 p.m. on the following Monday. And I'm going. I normally, if I think things are problematic, I normally have the exchanges take place at the Killeen Police Department out off of Stan Sluter. But again, I don't want to traumatize the kids if I can avoid it. And that's a lot of kids to be transporting. Would you want me to make that exchange point at KPD, or are you okay with picking them up at Dad's?
I'm okay with picking them up at Dad's. That's fine.
All right, then. If there's a problem, you need to let the children's lawyer know, because I'm going to move that from KPD to from Dad's residence to KPD immediately. Because again, I've had to use KPD over the years a lot as the exchange point, and they got great high definition cameras, so I can see who's really done who's at fault in circumstances. Because I've actually had to get video from them on what happened one time. So anyway, so that's what I'm looking at doing. I'm looking at I'm looking at giving you every weekend, ma'am, except because it's normally you would get 30 days in the summer, but based on your schedule, that's just not practical. I'm looking at doing that looking at starting at this weekend, which is June the 11th, would be your pickup, and you'll return to kids on June the 12th. Now, the following weekend is Father's Day weekend, so you don't get it. But every other weekend after that, going forward until we come back, you get the weekends with your kids. I'm going to go ahead and has the state calculated child support at all in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what was the amount of child support that mom would have to pay as a full amount if she didn't have the summer and all the every week? Well, what's the full amount that mom would be looking at as far as temporary child support is concerned? Because I'm going to deviate from that based on the summer circumstances.
$1,042.
All right then. I'm going to go. And what would Dad's child support be? Did you figure out Dad's?
That was not calculated, Your Honor.
Okay then. All right then. I'm going to go ahead and order child support going forward. I'm going to since we're doing this as a temp and we're going through the summer, I'm going to just go ahead and order temporary child support at $700 a month. And I'm going to start that the first day of July, so it's going to be due the 1st of July and the 1st of August. I'm looking at going ahead and appointing. I was going to look at Miss Swartz because I thought Mom was down in Austin, but Mom's here. So let's go with Miss Lambert. I'm going to appoint Chanel Lambert as the ad litem for the kids. And I'm looking at setting this up for a pretrial or further temporary orders in August because I'm going to have to make up my mind. I'll see what her recommendations are going forward for the school year at that point. And that way I can figure out what we're going to do as either a final or a further temporary order. But I'm looking at doing a special setting on this one, where this case is the only one I hear. And let's see. Let me look at my court dates in August. Let's see. First is a general docket. Wednesday is a hybrid.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's kind of weird. It looks like I hadn't set up the Tuesday or Wednesday, August the 9th and Wednesday, August the 10th yet for any special settings yet. Yeah, that's right. But what I'm gonna do is look at doing this on Monday afternoon. It will factor in any decision on what I'm doing going forward. But for right now, I'm going to leave the kids with you, give moms those weekends, and I'm going to come back and see everybody, have everybody attend this thing on the 31st. If you have any particular witnesses that y'all wish to call, y'all need to let the ad litem know. If you want to hire your own lawyers, y'all have that absolute right. But I'm going to go ahead and set that up and look at doing this. Like I say, ordering the temporary child support going forward until further order. And but obviously, if I do something different on July 31st, I can change. I can modify that child support amount or change that child support starting the 1st of August based on those circumstances. So at this time, Mr. Hodge, I'm going to start with you, sir. Questions or anything else you need to add? You think the court needs to know at this point, sir?
Yes, I was concerned with the allegations because my biggest concern was around the time that she supposedly said she did the police report. I got messages from her email with your screen recorded stating that she tried to kill herself. So I don't know whether she's trying to state that I abused her or whether she tried to kill herself. So I don't.
Okay, here's the deal, sir. First off, all right, here's the deal. None of that's in evidence at this point. Okay.
It was uploaded when I did
that. As far as any text messages or anything you said she wrote to you, sir. So until that's in evidence, you're not allowed to give the court information on that. You can show that information to the ad litem, and the ad litem's not not looking to put anybody in jail. The ad litem's just going to try to find the truth out one way or the other. And if you're completely innocent of that, sir, then you don't have anything to worry about. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, then. But for right now, is there anything else you want the court to know at this point, sir?
It seems like never mind. No, I guess not.
All right. Okay. I'm looking at the visitation package that I've already ruled on, sir. Do you have a problem with that?
Yes, I do.
What's the problem?
The problem is Ms. Zelinsky lied to you guys about the visitation. Ms. Zelinsky hasn't been trying to see the kids as much as she says she has. On our off days, she does not try to call or contact the kids.
Sir, Mr. Hodge, that wasn't my question. My question is about the visitation going forward. Do you have a problem with the weekend visits going forward until further order of the court?
I was just trying to explain that to you, but I guess not.
Okay, well, sir, you can explain it to me, but
it's fine, sir. It's fine. No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Ms. Zelinsky's questions or anything else you think I need to know, ma'am, before the state prepares the order and gets the ad litem and working this case?
No, the only question that I would have, you did state that for temporary starting July 1st, I'll be paying that child support of that $700, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay, with that being said, I do have a vehicle that he is using for the kids. It's in my name. I do not have a problem with him still using it or any of that because he does have the kids. My only thing is he's going to have to take that car payment over now because I'm not going to be able to afford the car payment, my rent, and child support.
Okay, sorry, stop. All right, here's the deal, ma'am. Are you saying, okay, well, that never came out in testimony. I ordered child support based on the fact I thought y'all have two separate households.
Yes, we do. And the bills are still the water bill and the internet is still in my name where he's currently living. He's been paying the water bill, but it's still in my name. The vehicle that he's using is in my name, but I've been paying it. He's paid maybe $150 of it. My car payment's $382.
All right. And ma'am, if you paid, okay, real quick questions then. All right. For this entire year, has that car been paid in full, ma'am?
Yes, it has. And I've been the one paying it.
All right. And that car is currently with Mr. Hodge. Is that correct?
That is correct.
No, but we'll come back.
Because I got documents stating that it has not been paid in full. Like, it's crazy. And we're under oath not to lie to you, though. That's crazy. We're under oath not to lie. And I have documentation.
I'm behind one car payment.
Stop. This isn't television, folks. This is my courtroom, and you do not get into an argument in a court of law. Understood, Mr. Linsky?
I understand.
All right, understood, Mr. Hodge.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to raise my voice, but hey, this is people on video think this is video, and this is not. This is my courtroom, and I can have both of you over here tomorrow having a live court date with me live, and my deputy standing right next to you, getting ready to tote both of you out to jail for being disrespectful. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. All right, now. Here's the thing, Mr. Linsky. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reset this matter for another temporary order before we come back. And I want you to both present proof whether or not that car payment's been made and where the location of that vehicle is. Mr. Hodge, are you in that vehicle right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this vehicle in Ms. Zelensky's name and Ms. Zelensky's name only?
Yes, sir.
Are y'all married?
No, sir. Common law, but no, sir.
All right, then. And you've had this vehicle since y'all have separated. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. And she's had mine.
All right. And is your vehicle paid for? Or are you making payments?
My vehicle's paid for.
Okay. All right, then. So what I'm going to need, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold off on making a ruling on what the child support is going forward. And you both need to get Miss Lambert that information concerning what the payment status is on that vehicle. And I will adjust it if it's been done and been paid in full over that time frame. And if it has not been, then I won't adjust the child support amount that I ordered. But again, Ms. Zelensky, Mr. Hodge, you both have the opportunity to give that information to Ms. Lambert, and she's going to go ahead and get that information to me just to complete my ruling as far as what child support is going to be going forward. And she'll get that to me before the end of the month so I can make that ruling. So Chanel Lambert's her name. Her information will be included in the reset order. Both of you are to recontact her based on that. And if the state needs to take y'all back in the breakout room to confirm your information or see whether or not she can call y'all directly, she will set that up. But anyway, I'm not gonna reset this for a hearing. I'm just gonna order that both of y'all provide that information to her as far as those payments are concerned on or before the 20th of June, which is 2 weeks from today. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, folks, and then I'll make that ruling dealing with the visit with the child support. But for right now, the state can go ahead and present do a temporary order with holding in advance that ruling on child support and reset this matter for the general docket on the. We have a general docket on the 20th, and that neither party has to attend. That's just for Ms. Lambert to make the report with the court, because I'm gonna set up a special setting docket for them on the 31st. Oh, let's see. The 20th is a general. Let me make sure I got the 20th may or may not be. I may have to move that to the 21st because that may be a special setting docket. Yeah, that's a special setting docket. So I'm gonna that will be you have until June the 21st to get her that information. You still have until June the 20th to get her information because I'm resetting. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna reset this matter for her to give me that information on Thursday, June the 22nd. So. All right, now I'll start with you, Ms. Zelensky. Anything else? Any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Hodge, anything else? Any other questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Hubbard, anything else you need to ask of either witness?
Since neither of you is asking for non-disclosure, may I include your address and phone number information in this order so that the ad litem can get a hold of you easier?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine with me.
Okay, Mr. Hodge,
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
Thank you. In your honor, we are not ordering child support right now.
I'm gonna hold in advance of ordering what the child. I'm gonna order child support, but I'm holding in advance what the amount would be based on Ms. Lambert getting me that information for me to make a ruling on the 22nd of what the child support is going forward. Because if she's making the payments, I'll give her credit for that, and I'll order her to keep making those payments, and I'll give her credit toward what that amount is, and then order child support based on subtracting the amount and ordering the child support going forward.
Thank you.
All right, folks, again, I hate to raise my voice in these circumstances, but I get it. Y'all don't get along anymore. That's fine. No one's making y'all do that. But again, when we're in before the courtroom, I can't have people going out and arguing in the courtroom. You wouldn't argue if one of you was sitting on the witness stand and the other was sitting out in the courtroom. Same deal. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and allow Ms. Lambert to start her investigation. I'll allow her to talk to both of y'all, get that information, and get that back to the court, and I'll make the ruling. And she will. And here's the thing to keep in mind: she doesn't represent you. She doesn't represent mom. She doesn't represent dad. She represents the 4 children, and she gets input on where these 4 kids are going to go live after everything's over with. Okay, she's their lawyer, and she will tell me. I don't have to go along with it, but I usually do. So again, she's my boots on the ground. She's the one that's going to visit both the households. She'll have, ma'am, you will need to formulate a plan to tell her what you will do if you have all 4 children and where they'll be going to school, what your standards will be as far as what you're looking for living, and the same with you, sir. So again, she's impartial at this point. She hasn't met either of you, and she's going to have to, by law, she'll have to do a home visit with both of y'all, and she will come back with that recommendation to the court based on the circumstances she finds and the testimony she will get from you at the final hearing. So I probably won't see y'all before then, but please keep in mind, she has the absolute right to file a motion for further temporary orders anytime in this case. So if she wants to come back before that that July 31st date, she will she can, and she will let y'all know in plenty of time about that. So I'll ask one last time, is there any other questions, anything else at this time, Ms. Linsky?
No, sir.
Mr. Hodge, anything else, sir?
So seeing as to how you're not going to enforce child support, what are we supposed to do about the support going forward? Because I've barely been receiving support since she left.
Okay, Mr. Hodge, you didn't get what I just said. I said I'm going to make a ruling on what your child support will be starting the first day of July based on mom and you providing the necessary information to the ad litem, so the court should see whether or not mom will get any credit toward that child support based on the fact she's making the car payment.
No, I understood what you said. I was asking you. You asked me if I had any more questions, and I asked what we were supposed to do about the support going forward, regardless of there not being an order. Like, is it?
There will be an order for child support, sir, made on the 22nd day of July. That's what that's for.
All right. Yes, sir. No, there's no questions, I guess.
All right, then. I will. Y'all have the right to attend that hearing if you want to, but it's not necessary. Only Ms. Lambert will be there to give the court that data, and I will see what I'm going to order as far as child support going forward. And I'll see everybody back on the special setting date on July 31st at 1:30 p.m. May the parties.